a bit after. I'd say like when I was like 18 was around the time where I was like.
Do you have a really bad simp down bad?
Yeah, exactly. I had what is that called? An origin story or something? Like what is that thing? Like
what? Your backstory?
You know, like when Spider-Man got bit by the.
Your origin story.
Yeah, but like what is that moment called? Like, you know, when he got bit by the spider, and like or like Batman's parents got killed, like some shit like that. What is it?
Turning point?
Like yeah. I had one moment.
Eureka moment
Where like I broke my hand.
I don't think that's it. But yeah, anyways.
Oh, not like Eureka, yeah, but like like I was like really into this one girl, and like I was already making music at the time.
Yeah.
Like I just started like probably like 6 months before, and like I wrote like a lot of songs about her, and then me and her was like we've known of each other since like probably like middle school, but like we didn't actually like hook up until like right out of like high school, and then like but then she was also like with one of my friends at the time, like but they weren't dating. It was just like they ended something. It was I think they were just hooking up, whatever. So then and then like we hooked up at the grad camping the same night that I got my first blowjob.
Oh.
The same night. Yeah, so it was like she came into my tent. It was like fucking 2 a.m. Came into my tent, started making out, and then we just chilled. And then like at one point we were just like we met up for like an hour or two, whatever. And she was like, "Oh wait, but what about
my man's
friend?" Like you know what I mean? She's like, "Oh, like." Because like she just ended things, or they just ended things, or whatever, and I was like, oh yeah, I should probably ask him if it's okay. So then I stopped it there, you know, because I didn't want to do anything that would offend him or whatever. And then the next day, like I told him about it. I was like, oh, is it cool if I da-da-da? And then like he was like, yeah, whatever, it's just chill. So then I hit her up like a couple months later. We started going out. Yeah. We went out like probably like twice, something like that. On the second date, like I could tell like she was like waiting for me to like make a move, and I just like never made a move, so I was like fucking so scared.
You made out with this girl. What were you scared about?
I don't know. Like I was just so insecure. You know what I mean? Like I was so insecure as like a
Really?
As a kid, yeah, bro. Yeah, but, like we parked the car, and then we sat in the car for like fucking 6-7 hours just talking, and then she was just like,
"You gonna talk her to fucking?"
I think like I met like. I went in one time, and then we like kissed one time.
Oh, the little peck?
Like, there was like just like a little peg, and I was like, I kept like overthinking the situation. Yeah. And then like eventually like, I don't know, like whatever. And then after that day, she like fucking dubbed me, and then like.
Yeah, bro, you just gonna talk for 7 hours, bro?
Yeah.
Her shit was. It probably was wet at a certain point, and then you just talked her down to just.
After that second date, I got pissed at myself. So then like I just like kept like playing back in my head, playing back. Then eventually I just got like so pissed at myself. I'm like, oh, you fucking idiot. And then I like punched a chair, like the back of a chair that I thought was a soft chair. Yeah. But it was a wood chair. Right. And like literally just broke this fucking knuckle.
Oh. Damn.
Like you still see it. It's like
the shit, it like goes in. Yeah. Well, you know, for me, I've had so many of these moments where I look back on, I just erase them.
What do you mean?
Like it's pretty, like I just bury them. Like it was so bad, cause like I know afterwards I hated myself so much that I'm just like, you know what? I think I drew the lesson from this. Yeah. And then what actually happened, I just don't talk about it. I'm just like, yeah, that never happened. And then I went down this rabbit hole of like watching Patrice O'Neal videos. Oh yeah. Yeah. He talks about like women a lot. Yeah, he talks about like just understanding like, women nature. Right. And then that's like he's like the godfather of like misogyny. Well, I don't think it's misogyny. It's really just like, you know, people who are like way too down bad at a certain point. Yeah. And you know, he's just like, bro, like have some respect for yourself. Right. Type of like I didn't feed into the, you know, like, oh, you should hate women, but I fed more into like, you know, like have some respect for yourself type of advice. I needed that. That's what I need too. So has music allowed you to like express your emotions better?
I guess so. Yeah, it is like therapy. Yeah, when I can actually like make something from it, you know. Yeah,
because when you talk about these feelings and these, you know, these you know, when you make these songs about like the girls, right?
Yeah.
It's like you're pouring out your emotions in a sense.
Yeah.
Which song do you think has been the most like emotionally impactful for you?
Emotionally, I think probably nobody.
Where
knows.
you like poured your heart out.
Oh, I don't know. A couple songs. Like I'd say 1725 was like sonically it sounds like ass, sounds like shit, like actual ass. But like that was like a genuine. That was probably like the most in depth that I went into. Yeah. About like a certain situation, and like I was cringing myself when I was recording it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I was cringing at myself. Cause I was like, it's like, it was like.
Can you give me a lyric?
It was like uncomfortable.
Can you give me a couple lyrics?
I don't even know. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, I just remember like I was recording, right? Like usually Mark's in the room when I'm recording, but like when I was recording that one, I was like, bro, like you gotta bounce, you gotta leave, you know. So like, yeah. And then I played it back and I was like, But then I saw this thing about that Drake said. He's like, oh, you know, like sometimes like your lyrics should be like uncomfortable. That's how you know it's like real. Yeah. So then, yeah.
What about Nobody Knows?
Nobody Knows is I wrote that shit in like 30 minutes or an hour or something like that.
What was that about?
It was just like I was just going through like some shit. Like I just feel like numbers and like shit like that. It's just like it's a very like roller coaster of a thing, because like it'll go up and you'll be like, yeah, and then it'll just fucking go down.
Plummet,
and you're like, fuck. Like
but that's the reality of the career path that we chose, is so volatile, right? Whereas like, you know, that's why it's exciting, but also at the same time, you know, we chose this knowing that like the 9-to-5 route is actually just, you know, stable, and you know, you get the same thing that you go in for week to week, day to day. Do you ever reflect on that and be like, damn, maybe I could have, you know, done accounting for...
Actually, genuinely, like if I had to work for someone else, I'd rather die. Like I'd rather die. But that's the weird thing, because it's like, even though like...
But because you feel like right now, like the things that you're going through that's taking a toll on your mental health is almost like unbearable to compare to like if you were to pursue like a 9-to-5 job, which is like...
Which is worse?
Which could be better in the sense of like on your mental health. Like you have a stable job, you have a nice girl, a nice spot, and you know, you go home to your friends, you know, like, you know, fucking after work, you go for happy hour, on the weekends, you go out, and it's like...
I think it's a sense of...
It's a simple life, right? But that's less straining on your mental health.